what you want to do here today about a contested hearing or some other options?
Yes, Your Honor, actually, if it's okay if I ask, it's about a seatbelt ticket.
Right.
Okay, I would just like to ask about any concerns I have with it.
Well, we're not going to get into the facts yet. I'm trying to figure out what kind of hearing we're having. And it sounds like maybe you want a contested hearing, which is fine, but I just always want to be sure about that.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry.
Okay, now I know. So let me look at the police report, if there is one first, and see if they've provided enough evidence for us even to get anywhere, and then I'll turn to you.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm looking at everything electronically. That's why I'm looking at another screen. All right, here we go. And looks like I do have under penalty of perjury from Trooper York. So let me look at this. From York to York. You're not related, are you?
I'm hoping there's not.
Well, probably, you know, Wilcox Farms, I'm not related to them, and I know him well, but he says that every Wilcox is related. All right. Wrong. It is a speeding infraction. I'm sorry. I was looking at too many things at once, Mr. York. It is a speeding infraction, not a seatbelt ticket. So does that clarify?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let me look at this now. Okay, so I've had a chance to review Trooper York's report on that. I'm gonna have you stand up and I can put you under oath. Raising your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't you have a seat? What's your side of this speeding ticket?
May I just say first, I've never had to been pulled over before.
Okay.
So all this is the first time. To my understanding, the officer did tell me that at first that I was pulled over because of my headlight, and that it was my driver's side.
Okay, you weren't cited for any equipment violations. It's all about speeding. So I'm
Yes.
looking for your response to the speeding ticket.
Yes. I understand that the officer says that I was doing 56, and I'm in no way trying to deny the officer or deface, but I would like to say that I would never try to do 56 in a 35 zone in the area where we were driving. It was just out of the movie theater on Martin Way. I understand that a lot of people do speed through there, and I do try to make sure to keep up with the flow of traffic. And if I ever did try and go over the speed limit at all, it would be possibly over 5 over, but I can promise the court that I did not go 56 over.
Okay.
And I do have other people who were in the car with me as well, who could vouch that I could not have been doing 56 as well.
So you tell me why you don't think you were doing, you're cited for 45 and a 35. The officer give you a, reduce that at their discretion, or the trooper reduced that at their discretion. Did find with this, the radar, that it was 56, but why do you believe you weren't going speeding? You weren't going over 35?
I understand that the officer says that I was speeding, but I do remember seeing that the officer did make a U-turn right next to me as they were coming up behind me, and I did recognize that it was a officer's vehicle. In no way did I try and slam on my brakes or accelerate or anything. I tried to make sure I kept my pace as I was driving up the road.
Okay.
And I made sure that I was keeping up with pace with traffic as well, that I would not try to exceed over the limit of what I thought the area was. And from what I understand, where the area that we were driving on Martin Way typically would be what I believe to be between 35 and 40.
Okay.
And I do have the applications on record on my phone that do tell me what the speed limits are in the area, that tell me if it's 45, which is the speed limit. And I could understand if it was maybe.
Why do you think you weren't speeding? Tell me why. What evidence do you have? Did you take the car into a mechanic and say, I got this ticket? And why did I think I wasn't speeding, and yet I'm being told that I was by a radar device or something? Do you have some evidence?
The evidence the evidence that I do have is on Google Maps, which I use for a lot of my transportation. does specify what speed limit zones are in certain areas.
Right.
I do have two,
Mute people.
sorry. I do have two ways of telling me exactly what my speed limit is in my vehicle as
Okay.
a digital one, as well as my normal dash as well.
All right.
I do know that I was going at least 40, and I do have my my passenger, did tell me as well that I was doing at least 40 of the speed limit, which I can agree that sometimes I do go over 5 in certain areas.
Okay.
But if it is in the area that it's not correct, I would just like to ask the court if I can get that checked out more.
Checked out more. What do you mean?
On the road that I was supposedly going over the speed limit on.
No, I don't know. What do you want to do? Checked out more. What do you mean by you need more investigation or?
If I could, yes, I'm just very confused on
So
the
you need
matter.
more time to be ready for your contested hearing is what you're telling me? Is that what you're asking?
I'm
And that's fine, but I just don't understand checked out. The court isn't going to do any kind of investigation. The court doesn't do that. The court hears from different people. They bring information to the court and the court makes a decision. But if you need more time to kind of look into things, that's fine. We can give you that time.
okay.
Is there some other evidence that you think you need to collect to bring to the court?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. No.
Okay. I was just puzzled by look into. I didn't know what you meant.
Sorry for my wording, Your Honor.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that you had every opportunity to do what you think you needed to do to bring your case to court. I sort of interrupted you there. I'm still looking for why you don't think you were doing 45 and a 35 or 56 and a 35. You said you got two ways to look at your speed. What is it? And so tell me about that.
So the ways that my thing will tell me is that I keep up with 40, and I believe that I was at least going 40 and not 56 or whichever the other limit was that the officer specified. And if I may, it was kind of confusing seeing as the officer did tell me that I was going verbally that I was going 52, and then it changed to 56.
Well, it was 56 and in the written on the face of the citation, cited for 45 and a 35, gave you a break, actual speed 56 and a 35, and in the verbiage or in the body of the report, 56. So I know it was said on the road because you didn't ask for the officer to be here. So all right. Anything else?
I guess probably just besides just my general confusion about the interaction with the officer, I was just trying to understand what exactly the violation was for, because he didn't know that there was other things that I had done wrong with the vehicle, which I would just like to ask the court if it was by chance anything else that was thrown in. But now that I
You
know
weren't
this is
cited for anything else, so
Okay.
that's good. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you didn't get any equipment violations, none of that.
Okay.
Okay, well, all right, so unfortunately, I had a deferral on a prohibited U-turn back in Olympia about 3 years ago, so I can't, 2 or 3 years ago, I can't give you another one. So on this one, the officer gave you a break at the scene. We're not changing things. I find it committed at 56, but we're going to keep it at 45 and a 35, $145 fee. I find it committed because the evidence here is a defense to overcome the speed measuring device information that I had from the officer that the law allows me to accept because of all the checks that were done and his instruction and the tech and so forth. So 145, and then we'll give you a receipt, and then you just stop at the front counter and just make arrangements today. If you want to pay it, you can, but you can also just make arrangements and make a plan with the front counter as to when to come good on that, usually within about 30 days to start a time payment agreement if you need it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.